All right, everyone. So, the last couple examples, we learned how to track an object in two-dimensional space, right? So it's like we tracked a video of a woman going up and down, or we tracked kind of something moving left and right. But like what I want to do is like, let's say I have this, right? And I want to put something new here. It's like this is a rectangle, but when you put it in three-dimensional space, it's not a flat rectangle anymore, right? So here I'm inside of a 3D program here. Don't worry about which program, but like here, this is a plane, but if you look at it from a 3D perspective, it's like now it looks more like a diamond because we are looking at it from not a two-dimensional viewpoint, but a three-dimensional viewpoint, right? So, what does that have to do? Well, let's say I want to track something. So, I want to track this painting. And I want to replace this painting with a different painting. These are actually paintings in my living room. And so the video is kind of going like this. Now, my painting is an actual rectangle, but because of the way that I shot it, where it's like I'm looking at it at an angle, it's not it's following perspective lines. So like if you know anything about 1 point, 2 point perspective, like the perspective of my rectangle in three-dimensional space looks more like this, even though it's technically a flat, rectangle if you laid it out on the ground. So I want to replace this. So what we're going to do is we're still going to track this, but we're not going to just track 1 point or even 2 points, but we're actually going to track one, two, three, 4 points. We're going to track each point of the rectangle and see how it moves. And then you can take another flat object and you can use that data to place it right on top. Okay. It's probably a little bit easier to see what I'm going to do than explain it. So what I'm going to do is come over here and I'm going to go to where it says track motion. So I have this video, and then what I'm going to do is we are going to turn current track type from transform to perspective corner pin. Okay. And what that will do is it'll give me 4 points. And so there's point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. And what I want to do is I want to put the points so that they're each at the corner of my object. All right. So this is not very similar to what we did before. It's just now we have four instead of one or two. So I'm going to take this and move it down to the corner here. And so I'm just going to take a little bit of time and just move these accordingly. So I'm trying to get these points like right on the edge. Actually, this point should be over here. And so these trackers still follow the same, issue of other trackers where it's like, you want oops, where'd it go? Ah, shoot. I'm following, this is to kind of follow. You don't want it to escape this area, but my video is pretty smooth, so it should be okay. Oops. All right. All right, so I want this to kind of be right on the edges That looks pretty good. And then this needs to be a little bit higher. Okay. So I got my points in place. And, so it's going to track all the data for point one, point two, point three, point four. And it's going to have a position point for each one of those trackers. Okay. So what I'm going to do is let's analyze just like we did previously. All right. Notice how each tracker has its own position. If I actually even go here, you can see the data for all of the points. So previously, we would apply this to like text to have text line up to a particular spot or to have it applied to a null object. What I'm going to do, I guess I could still make it a null object, but I'll do a null object and I'll say motion tracked painting. Okay. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to say edit target. This is the thing that we want to affect. And I want to set it to that um, null object that I just created. And then we're going to hit apply. So it's kind of hard to tell, but it's applying that data. And then what I'm going to do is let's take one of these paintings. Now, the painting has to be, whatever you replace the thing with has to be the same aspect ratio. I'm going to take this painting and let's parent it to this. Maybe that didn't quite work the way I wanted. All right, I take it back. I'm gonna get rid of that null object, and we're just gonna apply it directly to the painting. Um, so I'm gonna click on this. Let's apply it to the painting. There we go. And now I'm going to go back and hit apply. And you can see that basically the position point, and also what happened in this particular case is not only it applied it's basically applying this corner pin effect, which is basically twisting it to match up exactly based on the data from the tracking. And you can see, there you go. So like this dolly painting fits perfectly with what's going on in the scene. Now, in this particular case, the painting's a little too saturated, so it doesn't kind of look very natural. But you could play around with the color correction or something. So actually, I'm going to lower the saturation just a little bit. This is this is without the desaturation. This is with it. So it's kind of, working with my room now. And that makes it look a little more natural. All right. So this is a lot of times how they might put an object into a scene in a movie or have a custom, like uh they want to put an old-fashioned ad on the wall or something, and it's like they don't have time to print it out or whatever, or they want to put a thing on you could change the name on a on a street sign or something. This is a way to do that. I'm gonna actually try one of these others. Now I could drag these in, apply the same data, but here's the little trick. I'm actually gonna do a substitute where you can substitute one image for another. I'm gonna take this and do holding down Option or Alt, and I can substitute that in. So there's this very famous Japanese wave painting. Once again, I don't know. Just gonna lower the opacity. Maybe lower the lightness too. It's a little too bright, this particular one. That looks a little more natural. All right. So there you go. I can put in, I'm substituting for a famous painting if I want to. All right. So if you were what, let's say you were setting up a scene and you wanted to have like, uh a particular website or thing on a computer or a cell phone or something, this is a way you could do that and have it fit perfectly. All right, let's try this again. So here, there's a whole scene going on here, and there's like multiple screens. And what I want to do is I'm going to put in this Popeye movie. We're also going to put a picture of a cat. The cat's going to go here. I think the Popeye is going to go there. And then we got a picture of a puppy that's going to go over here. The main thing is that whatever you replace the thing with should have roughly the same aspect ratio. Otherwise, it won't kind of look as natural. So I'm going to take this computer screens and let's do a track motion. And this is called tracker one. And I'm going to set this under type to perspective corner pin. Well, let's just start with this one. So once again, I'm gonna kind of set this. So I want right where the screen kind of matches up with the whatever you want to call that, the plastic, the rim of the. All right. All right. So once again, I'm gonna kind of play around with this. You don't want, and we're gonna do a little tracking data. So I did it again. See, not on frame one, so I got to go back and I always do that. I always make sure you're on frame one of the thing that you're trying to affect. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm just gonna kind of double check there. All right, let's do a little analyzation. Boom. Okay, got my data. Now I'm gonna drag in, I think we'll use the picture of the puppy. And I'm gonna go back, select the video. Let's set that equal to puppy and then hit apply. And then there you go. The puppy should now fit nicely. Once again, it's a little bit bright, so I might want to desaturate it a little bit. Okay. I want to do this again. So what I'm going to do is let's go back to this video. I'm going to go back to frame one and let's add another motion track. So when you do that, it's going to make a second tracker. So this is track one, which was this one. I'm going to go to track two, which is my new one. And I'm going to set that for this one. And let's set that also to quarter pin. So I'm just going to try to set this up. All right, so I just want to make sure this is fitting nicely. All right. Looks good. On frame one, let's analyze. Boom. Okay. And I'm going to take that footage and apply it to the photograph or the video of Popeye. So if I go back, edit target, set it to Popeye, and then apply. Okay. Oops. Okay. I messed up there. I think I should have. Okay, the reason why that happened was I think I shouldn't have done one, two, three, four. I think it should have been one. Let me go back. It's not. I think it doesn't like the points that I'm at. Yeah, so it wants one, two, three, four, and then yeah, okay. I think I backwards did. So I'm gonna go back. We're gonna have to do this again, unfortunately. I got a little. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Okay. Mm, let's make that a little bigger. I feel like I got lost a little bit. Okay. Now let's apply that to Popeye. There you go. Okay. All right. Let's do it one more time and we'll do it for this one. So I'm going to click on this. Track motion. That's going to make a third tracker. We are also going to set that to be perspective pin. So one, two, three, four. We're going to do it for this one. Making sure this fits up just nicely. Okay. Ah, I did it again. Sorry. I know I warn you and then I do it. I know, I know. I'm a bad teacher. All right, so let's go there. All right, we're gonna analyze this. Boom. Okay, got my data. And then we are going to go to, I'm just going to use this picture of a cat. Once again, like I said, you really want something that kind of follows the perspective, or sorry, the aspect ratio of what it is that you're trying to replace. So this is more of a rectangle, so I want my thing to be more of a rectangle. If your thing's more of a square, you would want the thing, the picture you're replacing it or the video to be more of a square. It's got to kind of match up. Otherwise, it's going to feel kind of stretched or squashed, which is not really what you want. But anyway, let's go back. Let's set this to cat. We're on tracker 3. Make sure you're applying the right data. Hit apply, and then there you go. Okay. So we replaced all the screens with our own unique thing. Okay. So let's even try this one. Maybe I'll try to. So in this video, oops, except this will be hard to do because they have one that doesn't have it on it. We're going to do kind of something similar. All right, let's download this video. And we'll do something similar. So I'm going to import that video. This video is a little bit bigger than my scene, so I'm going to drop it down. So here's the video. Let's select this video. We'll do a track motion. And we want to apply this as a perspective corner pin. It seems a little bit smaller because this video that I'm checking out is a lot bigger, which unfortunately means it might take a little bit more while to analyze, but we'll do our best. Let's reset this. I feel like this is going to be off, but we'll do our best. All right, so I'm just trying to set this up to the corners, just like we did before. All right, looks pretty good. All right. All right, let's analyze. This might take a little while because this is a bigger video, like physically bigger, like in terms of dimensions. All right, we're almost done. Actually, I think I'm going to put a video here instead of using the, well, we'll do the cat first. I think let's start with a flat image, and then if that works out, we'll do the video. All right, boom, got all the data. Is it still going? Oh, this is a long video. All right, I'm going to pause this. This demo getting a little longer than I thought. I'll turn it back on when we're done. All right, so I went through now. So let's try this out. I'm actually gonna let's try the puppy one because of course we gotta or the cat. I think that's close. I think the puppy's closer to the perspective. So let's put that in here and let's apply that data to puppy. Yep, there you go. All right, I just did this live, so I didn't know how this was going to turn out, but it turned out pretty well. Now, obviously, it's very bright. So I think if I wanted to make this look a little more natural, I would lower the saturation. Maybe you could put a little bit of less, little darker, just to make it kind of match in a little bit. So let's use saturation. I'm just going to kind of not too desaturated, but I want it too bright. I don't claim to be a lighting expert, but that looks a little, see, that looks a little bit more natural. You probably wouldn't have even noticed if I hadn't said anything. Let's actually try replacing it with the video. Oops. There you go. The video of videos. All right. So this is a corner pin. All right. Try that out using that was what? Exercise 9 and exercise 10, please. Thank you.